Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rational Investors TRI Crypto Countdown. TRI's Crypto Top 100 Crypto Review. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to show that's got 20 different names. No idea what the hell we call it, but TRI Crypto Countdown. Yeah, looks like we're live on YouTube, so that's good. And I don't think there's anybody actually on YouTube. Isn't that funny? So here we are. Just you and me, Paul. We're just hanging out tonight. I guess we'll just talk a little crypto amongst ourselves. Hey, even our good buddy Ben is MIA tonight. I think he said that he'll try and make it in a few minutes. He does have issues with little ones, but... I suppose that's the life of being a parent. I think, Paul, don't you have a couple little ones around?
Good morning. Yeah, I have two little girls.
Oh, there he is. Two boys. All right. Well, good for
Two
you.
little girls.
So, good morning, sir. I don't know whether YouTube's picking you up. Let's see. Can you say something? Tell us, how old are your boys? I don't know. Just out of curiosity.
My girls.
Girls. He said you've got girls. I can't even hear you. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
7 and 6.
So they're just little ones. So
Yeah.
I guess what that in first and second grade? I don't know. Do they have 2
Yep.
years of kindergarten in Romania?
Yeah, 2 or
Okay.
3 years, depending.
Yeah, well, enjoy it. I suppose once they get into teens, I suppose 6, 7 years old, you still got a good few years. Once they
Yeah.
turn into teenagers, they're nightmares.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. Well, you're going to make so much damn money, you'll be living in your castle. They'll just love daddy. Good old sugar daddy. What do you think, Paul? Will you make a good sugar daddy?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No. Actually, you were a officer of the law in a former life, weren't you?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I don't know whether I want you as a dad or not. You might be tough.
I don't think so.
Anyway, good evening, sir. And of course, it's evening for us over here. Adam's saying evening. I think Adam's in California. Samurai, I'm not quite sure where you are. Evening. Luis Maya Orastigui. Oh, I butchered that. Sorry. Got Louis. I suppose I got the Louis part right. Anyway, hello. So we do have a few people over on YouTube watching, so it's not going to be just a conversation with you and I tonight. But even if it was, that'd be kind of cool. I could enjoy that. So evening for us here in the West, but actually it's a brand new day for Paul. He's on the other side of Europe, and actually it's very, very early in the morning for him. And I appreciate you joining us. And forcing yourself to get up very early in the morning to join us on this call. So thank you very much for doing that, sir. I appreciate it. And if I understand correctly, your Discord group and all that's growing like a weed, eh? What did you say? You're going to have a YouTube channel soon?
Yeah, maybe a TikTok channel soon, but...
There you go.
Yeah.
So Paul's going to take over the world. I had told everybody when I got first involved in this space years and years ago that, actually half of my job is just to do nothing more than empower you to become famous. And I love seeing people that I've taught how to manage themselves and how to trade to go on and do great things. There's nothing, no greater sense of satisfaction than I basically did exactly what my wife had come and asked me to do. I was trying to make a positive difference in this world. So use your superpowers for good, sir. I would appreciate it.
Yep.
Jojo would appreciate it too.
Yeah, the Discord channel is growing a bit too fast for my taste.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, that's what happens.
It's okay. Yeah.
Especially in the crypto verse, you show a little bit of prowess to be able to actually manage yourself and manage trades. And all of a sudden, magical things start happening. So, anyway, where shall we begin tonight? Like I said, Ben was gonna join us after he put the little ones down. I guess it's about 9 o'clock on the east coast of North America, so he might join us the next half hour or so. So I don't know whether we want to get into our crystal ball reading. I get the impression that all three of us need work on our crystal balls.
Yeah, mine is a bit broken. A bit stubby.
But hey, if you can trade setups like a boss, who gives a fuck? I don't need a crystal
Yeah.
ball. I just trade my setups.
Exactly.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Now, why do people always PM me right when the show starts? uh, hold on a second. What do we call this? The show? Let's see. Where are we? Yeah, and actually, if there are any Facebook experts out there, Facebook has gone through some funny changes of late. And actually, I tried to post this video on the Facebook page. Some really weird things were happening. So, anyway, if you happen to be a TRI member and you happen to be a Facebook whiz, give us a holler. We could probably use some help fixing that page up. It's been a bit of a mess. I don't know why, but anyway. Okay, so maybe I'll just manually do this. I don't know what market we use. So at show start, but do you have any idea what market it is we actually use in particular? Do we use Coinbase or Stamp or something?
Bitstamp, I guess.
Stamp? All right.
I'm not sure, but I think so.
Let's see. Today is the 3rd of August, so here we are storming into August. If anything, I'm a little concerned that, as soon as the summer rally is over, look out.
Yeah.
But hey, what the hell? Might as well enjoy the market.
Still
while we
summer.
got it. Pardon me?
It's still summer. We have
It still
time to-
is. That's right. We still got another month or so left on this. We got to squeeze every bull move out of this. Mind you, you're also trading the market short too, aren't you? So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you do have the ability to go long, to go short, then I suppose the volatility is your best friend. So.
Exactly. Not too
Anyway.
much volatility, but I need volatility to make money.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this is the Coinbase chart. You're saying that
Yeah,
maybe
it's
we
good
do it
enough.
off a stamp. Here's stamp.
Oh,
Let's see. I gotta figure out where the hell we are here. So this is August 3rd, 1700 hours. I guess we'll do that. 17. That's 5 o'clock, isn't it? Is this 5 or 6 o'clock we start this? So what we're really talking about is what was happening on the 27th. Where's the 27th? There we are at about 5 or 6 o'clock. So that's right in there. Well, that's kind of cool. So we were down in this. Oh, actually, maybe we jumped up there. Oh, that's too bad.
exactly. That's one. Yeah. It's unchanged.
Ah, I thought maybe we did it there, and so it's like, all right, cool.
No.
We're
It's
gonna
the
look
same
good.
price.
But it looks like it's almost a zero-sum game here, eh? That's kind of a bummer. I think I guess we're going off of something like that. What's that say? 23,147.
22,800 we have on the spreadsheet.
22. 22,800. All right. So where was that? again?
$200 above that level now.
Huh. There's 22.9. Mind you, I use my funny little Tesla 4-hour charts. So probably these guys are probably around. Ben probably just uses sort of regular charts. Maybe we'll even do like hourly.
Yeah.
And that way it should be at least top of the hour. Okay, so here is the 27th, and there is 4 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock right there. Right there. So what's that number? 22,779. And then that one there, 5 o'clock, 22,793. So 793, 779. Right, where were we? 22,800. All right, so I guess maybe he rounded up a little bit.
Yep.
All right, and now, what the heck do we do this week? I guess we're gonna go with. I guess we'll just go with. Actually, I guess top of the hour, the opening of this candle. That's what that would be. So beep, it opened up 23.18. Whoa, big move. 20. What did I say? 23.18. Is that what I said? What the hell did I
Yeah.
say? Try that again. Opened up at 23.18. Oh, where's the open? Yeah, open 23.18. Yeah, that's an interesting number. All right, so 23.18. So that means we had a rally of about $200.
Yep.
And I guess that's almost. I guess that's in like gray, unchanged kind of neighborhood, eh? Did he? Oh yeah, okay. So I just put. Actually, we should be able to just go like that. Yay! There we go. 1%. Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. So Brian was wrong. Paul was wrong. Ben was wrong. Everybody was wrong. Oh, jeez, H Christ, you bastards. Ah well. So what is that? It's $218, eh? Something like that. Well, if nothing else, volatility coming out of price. Maybe we're coiling up to something big down the road. But way to go, everybody! We all were wrong. And if anything, was your bullishness rewarded this weekend? We had a pretty nice little rally heading into the weekend. Did you and your group make some money through the weekend on that move?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that's good. So we just unfortunately, you know what I would say this we attribute this to is Mr. Nancy. I think Mr. Nancy derailed the whole damn risk market, and if anything, that makes perfect sense. Because, of course, they had to get out of a whole bunch of long stocks, so they needed to bring the market back down. Jerks. Anyway. All right, well, we'll check in with Ben. We'll harass him a little bit. He was actually more right than either of us.
Yep.
I was feeling very bullish there last week. It was interesting if we go and look at TRI breadth. I suppose this is where we were. We were surging higher last week. And then, as we said, like latter part of the week and then into the weekend, everybody started to freak out. World War III was about to start. Sure feels as though the inertia has been knocked out of the market. Too bad too, because we had a really nice wide base going here on the altcoins. I really felt like maybe they could have a nice shot in the arm. I think on Tuesday, Sjord pointed out that Sjord's TRI's chief technology officer, and he's like totally nose to the ground, or ear to the ground. I don't know, one of those. Listening for talk in like crypto and DeFi, and he pointed out, do you remember what that story was that Sjord said? Another big hack and another big network. I think it was like a bridge or something like that got hacked for like $100 million or something.
Solana.
Was it a Solana derivative? I don't think it was Solana directly.
Not
But,
directly, but yeah.
It was like one of the derivatives. Maybe somebody over there on YouTube. You guys remember what story Sjord was talking about? Another big hack, and unfortunately a whole bunch of more money stolen. So, there you are. It was Solana? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, both two people are saying so. So, there you go. As long as that keeps happening, oh, Jesus. It's awfully tough for this space to move on to the next wave. And what worries me is that, they always say the fall, they don't call it the fall for nothing. Here we are into August. I hope that there's enough sort of bullish enthusiasm and bullish stories. How's the whole Ethereum, what the hell do they call that? The
Merge.
change from POW to POS. They got a name for it. Some name. Remember what the hell they call it, Paul?
Yeah, the Ethereum merge or something like
Merge.
that.
Yeah. How's that
Yeah.
going? You hearing much about that?
I don't hear anything bad about that.
I don't hear anything bad. But I have heard that they've kind of like been delaying it for quite some time. They keep delaying it, keep delaying it, keep
Yeah,
delaying it.
couple of
So
years now.
yeah. So anyway, we'll see whether that happens. I suppose that would be a nice catalyst for a big sort of rally into that event, whatever that is. Sonori over there on YouTube is saying September, which would be perfect because that's when we're having our big TRI meetup in Portugal. So maybe if we're lucky, we have a nice little rally into that window, and a whole bunch of Ethereum longs get paid, and we can all go and afford the hookers and blow. I heard that hookers and blow in Portugal are especially expensive. So I don't know. For the record, I don't think I've ever actually had the privilege of a lady of the night. So I can't remember honestly. My 50 years, and I am not a fan of cocaine. I did it once, probably, geez, oh god, that's about 30 years ago. So I make jokes about hookers and blow, but in all honesty, I'm about as straight gets, almost to a fault. I mean, you guys see, I spend most of my life on YouTube doing these videos. I think today alone, I had three. Was it? Did you see the Daily Brief today, Paul? It was about a good 2.5, 3 hours. Oh man, I was going for a marathon today. A lot of site members, I actually outlast them talking away. Yeah, there's Zach says it is not Solana, it's Nomad Bridge. There you go. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. I didn't know for certain who it was, and of course, I suppose the default of late is just blame Solana. It's centrally controlled. Anytime Sam starts to get the jitters, he just shut the whole fucking thing down. So, and it's kind of sad that crypto has degenerated into this, eh? God, it's bizarre how you don't even really hear. Back when this whole story started, man, we had some pretty colorful characters in Bitcoin, but you don't even hear about any of them anymore. Roger Ver, that guy was a character. Oh man, how about what was it? What's the Greek guy's name? Did you ever? Because he's sort of the same neck of the woods as you are, Paul. Did you ever get inspired by that Greek guy who used to go and talk about Bitcoin endlessly?
No, not at all.
Can't remember what his name is. He has a really, really long name. And somebody felt so empathetic because he just kept talking about Bitcoin year after year after year after year. And somebody asked him, well, you must be a Bitcoin millionaire. And he said, no, I don't have any Bitcoin. And somebody was like, seriously? You have no Bitcoin? And they actually sent him $1 million of Bitcoin just so that he could say that he was a millionaire from Bitcoin, which I thought was hilarious. It just goes to show how stupid rich the sort of the original guys in this space are, that they could give $1 million away and it wouldn't even be that big of a deal to them. Anyway, that's crazy crypto. As you can see from the image on the screen right now, this is TRI's breadth indicator, and it's not really overly happy. And I did a long conversation on the site today. Like I said, 2.5-hour daily brief. I think 1 45-minute segment was on Bitcoin and the breadth indicators. And I actually said repeatedly, and we talked about it at length. We have a nice, very lively conversation on the site every day. I have to remember I'm using this thing for my charts now. And we were kind of humming it on whether maybe Bitcoin is bottoming out here and getting ready for a nice push higher. And we did our daily video right, let's see, 1 9, yeah, right in this window right in here. And to all intents and purposes, this is a trade setup that I used when I was prop trading crude oil very effectively, and I still trade it, trading futures on a daily basis. But the point being that for me, because I'm chicken, I like to have 3 higher lows to work with. So it's just really a question. And also, too, I really like to have market structure on the other side of this downtrend line to sort of lead me to believe that the bull is actually in control and we're out into open space here, so price can move up nicely. So it was interesting how, like I said, we did our daily video right through here, and it was kind of like, everything is set up. There's only one thing that's missing. That one thing is the broader market in crypto looks like poop. That looked really bad. And, I've just come to learn, and this is a lesson from the stock market. The easiest way for you to think about this is at any time, ask yourself a really simple question. Are you trading the stock market? Of course, this is the way I would talk when I was a stock broker. Or are you trading a market of stocks? So, are you trading the stock market? Somebody would buy the S&P 500 futures or the Dow Jones Industrial Average. I think the Dow is going to go up. I'm a bull. Versus a market of stocks, I'm going to buy Microsoft because Mr. Nancy went in and bought a bunch of call options on Microsoft. I'm going to buy Apple Computer because Mr. Nancy went in and bought a whole bunch of call options on Apple Computer. I'm going to sell NVIDIA because Mr. Nancy bought some NVIDIA, but they were kind of caught with their hand in the cookie jar with regard to conflict of interest and insider trading, so they had to abandon that position because there was a big vote in the U.S. government around those companies. And of course, if you had bought the stock market recently, well, you did okay. Things are moving up again. If you bought a market of stocks, bought Microsoft, bought Apple, well, of course, you're riding that wave. As Mr. Nancy, of course, has a habit of doing fairly well on his stock picks. So it's a good analogy that, is it the whole market that's moving, or is it a basket of stocks, or, in this case, cryptos? And can, one crypto just move up on its own without the whole tide moving in the same direction? And actually, I found that that's actually extremely difficult. Very rarely, in fact, one stock trading model that we teach on the website, William O'Neill's CanSlim model, one of the criteria for him to actually even be considering making money being long stock is got to have the broader market participating. So I guess the point here is that the breadth indicator alone, even though, yes, we had Bitcoin to a certain degree, and keep in mind, I think a lot of the price action, oh God, I did it again. A lot of the price action here was all around Mr. Nancy going to Taiwan and kicking up trouble, sort of kicking the hornet's nest. And to a certain degree, that was all about, we got to somehow change the narrative locally in the U.S. because the Democrats, with old sleepy Dementia Joe, they were looking like idiots. So they had to do something to somehow change the conversation. And Bill Clinton famously did this, 20, 30 years ago with the bombing of Serbia, trying to get the American public to stop talking about him getting blowjobs in the White House. So the irony of it all is that actually the more things change, the more they stay exactly the same. Nothing really new going on here. So the thing there, though, was that, and it was interesting because You know, we cover a very, very wide swath of the crypto market. These just so happen to be the best performing names in our crypto top 30, which is sort of like our, who's list of crypto. And by all means, our crypto top 30. Whoops, actually, that's not the button I wanted to push. Knucklehead. Oh, geez, I always do that. It's like you're halfway through a sentence and everything's flying, and then you hit the wrong button and you totally derail yourself. Okay, so I guess you can't hit that open in new window. Anyway, here's our crypto top 30, and these are the names that we sort of consider at the top of crypto. Aave, ADA, Algo, Atom, AVEX, BCH, BCH, well, I don't know about that. BNB, BTC, Doge, DOT, Ether, File, FTT, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I often suggest to people that a really easy way for you to actually sort of look and see at the market, what's the market direction, is just pull up this matrix, and you can see you can get a pretty good chunk of those 30 names all in just sort of one image. And what are you seeing on balance? Are you seeing W's? Are you seeing M's? And that'll give you a pretty good idea of what's happening. And that's this whole sort of concept of breadth. And then you're scrolling through and you're going, gee whiz, that looks awfully attractive. What's going on there? Do a little more due diligence. Good old Stellar Lumens. Look at that beautiful W that just came in. So, but the point here is, I think a lot of names like this XMR, you can kind of see how we jumped up and then we've kind of just calmed down here. We're just sort of trying to clean ourselves up. And I think, as I said there a second ago, looking at the breadth, I think to all intents and purposes, that's basically what you're seeing out of that crypto top 30 is, whoops, wrong page. Breadth. Let's see if I can do this. Come on, breadth. Is market jumped up and things are just calming down and cleaning up. So I have to say, very, very pleased with the way that the breadth indicator is operating. It really keeps you out of trouble. And really, my hunch is that when this cleans up, when it turns around, kind of like that name that we just saw there a second ago. Let's see if I can do that on the fly. Crypto. In fact, we can look at the crypto universe, same sort of thing. Great part about this, check this out. Look how many names this thing follows. 2,741 different cryptos we're following in our universe. Holy Shiite Muslim. That's incredible how many. Hell, we even got like Apple versus USDT on here. What? So, anyway, this covers just about everything. And in the crypto universe, including a lot of stable coins, stuff like that. But same sort of thing, I was, sort of middle of last week, feeling like, all right, are we about to put in a wicked base here and really start rocking and rolling and have our summer crypto rally, which I think everybody was kind of hoping for, anticipating, and all of a sudden Mr. Nancy comes along and fucks us over with their stupid Taiwanese visit. And the whole risk market, everything, all just went, oh, no you didn't. And the interesting thing about this is that, the longest time people thought that crypto and the rest of the risk market were not very well correlated. And actually a lot of people in crypto really kind of wish that crypto wasn't part of the sort of the system. But I'd actually argue that I think crypto is a part of the risk matrix, if you will, in our universe now. And ironically enough, I think it looks something along these lines. Which is interesting because it looks like oil is finally starting to sort of calm down here. Maybe we'll start to see oil start to join the risk assets again. But, obviously with Vladdy doing what he did, the oil market's kind of a mess right now. And it's probably half of the reason why we're sort of like, is this a recession? Is it not a recession? What the hell's going on? Because, all the commodity prices went all schizo there last winter. Now, was it because of Vladi, or was it because of all the other mitigating circumstances that were all coming to a head? Was Vladi just part of the big sort of synchronization, the Great Reset, all that crap that's going on? In a weird way, I actually think he is. And it's almost like he had a role to play in all of this. I remember February 22nd, 2022. He was, making like press statements about how they were doing military exercises in Belarus and how, oh, he would never invade the West and all that. And it's interesting, like to the numerologist, 02 22 2022. Very interesting day. And literally the next day, the whole damn world just got turned on its head. So I'm sure there's bigger things going on, but nonetheless. So one thing I kind of noticed about crypto recently, I don't know whether you really see it here very well, but it does feel to me like crypto's a bit of a leading indicator. And actually, you really see this well on our dashboard. If I could scroll back over time and show you, it'd be really handy. I can't. Maybe in the next version of our updated software we can. But, about a week or two ago, if we look at the breadth, you can see it, right? About the, you can see, sort of like the 20th of July, somewhere up in that area. Crypto was basically overbought both on the short and the medium term, which is pretty dangerous there. And Cole says there's a U.S. Pluto return on that date. Oh, yeah. So isn't that interesting? So that's that, I guess 200, I can't remember what cycle that is, but the U.S. Went through a major pivot in 1776 time period, then 1865, and now here we are, 2022. And actually, I think it was like Gettysburg was 1862. And if I'm not mistaken, I remember doing some research into this. 1782, the end of 1781 and the beginning of 1782, that's actually where Britain formally made plans that the United States was actually, they had lost the war. And that they were making plans for the United States to be its own country. So, yeah, you're right, Cole. A fascinating pivot in history there. Then, of course, that also plays into the 80-year money cycles, too, eh? Anyway, so notice that, in this window right up in here, that's actually how the stock market looks right now, eh? Like if we look at the S&P 500, notice that it is right up in that window as well. So I get the distinct impression that crypto is actually acting as a very good leading indicator in the risk space. And it might be interesting to look at like the tech sector in the States. Like we have this technology sector, which is basically the same thing as the S&P, or excuse me, NASDAQ 100. This is the technology 100. Yeah. So you can see this is looking very, very vulnerable up here. Very dangerous. And, you say, okay, well, what does dangerous look like? Well, ironically enough, actually, I think it's going to look at the broader stock markets, I think, are actually going to look a heck of a lot like what Bitcoin just sort of went through. I think you're going to see a repeat. This is basically what the stock market is probably going to look like. So there was that big push that took, crypto and Bitcoin, but, the crypto top 30, right, 16, 17, 18, that big push there, which then we had a pullback, then we had another push to new highs, but unfortunately this push to new highs starting to create things like bearish divergences, right? And you could argue this push to new highs on our breadth indicator on crypto that recent push to new highs was actually a bearish divergence in the actual crypto top 30 breadth reading. That's interesting, Josh. If you're watching this later on, looks like we can actually even find divergence in the breadth indicator with things like Bitcoin. So that divergence, I think, was a little bit of a trap. And sadly, you can see that's we're having to clean that up now. Hopefully, hope, fingers crossed, right? We've got this bullish bot potentially forming, nice reversal through here, making some, these are what are called railroad tracks. Obviously I don't know actually if it's obvious or not. This 4-hour bar started at 1 o'clock, so it should finish at about 7 o'clock my time. So you can see it's 6:30 here. So that's a really interesting reversal that's trying to come in there. And of course, 1 low, 2 lows, 3 lows. So what I'd like to see is this breadth indicator turn back up. And if we can get a buy signal, we might actually have something to help us coming out the other side of August here. I suppose also too, if we look at good old Ethereum, and actually this has been a fun experiment on the site recently, trying to help people understand. This is a 4-hour chart on Ethereum with a relative strength index, and a really, really simple approach to trading using the relative strength index and these funny little M's and W's that I sort of do with the different colorings to give you an idea of what stage we're at in either a bull or bear. Which is interesting because today, actually, coming out of the gate earlier this morning, we actually spat up a W in the RSI that took us up through the 50 line. That's a fairly aggressive move, pretty bullish move. Didn't really translate into much because we sort of banged into this trend line and just stopped. Technically, that's a big honking W working there. So, ironically enough, you might look back in hindsight and go, well, trade idea did work. So as you can see here, I was thinking sort of that same thinking along the lines of Bitcoin. If this is some sort of bullish bot, how's that going to look? 1, 2, 3, right? 3 higher lows. I got to say, that's not a bad looking level. So you can see both Ethereum and Bitcoin are trying to set up bullish bots here. Well, it's fascinating. And like I said, the one piece that's missing out of all this is I'd like to see the breadth indicator turn back up. If it does, then get ready, folks. All hell might break loose. Interesting thing, too. Look how the fast is already gotten down to almost nothing. I mean, that's incredible how quickly that thing has corrected itself. It can't go any lower than 0. So that's the irony of us all, is that at some point this thing's going to have to start turning back up here. So that's fascinating how quickly that has resolved itself. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled. I actually like the idea that the market's trying to break higher here. I just, the problem, I suppose, and I was saying that this is a leading indicator. What I'm worried about is the broader stock market. The broader stock market's looking dangerous. And I remember about a month or two ago, no, actually, I guess it was in May, I had put out a warning that if you see the country funds ever go 100% or, overbought in both the short and medium term, I won't say 100, but, above 80 in both short and medium term, then you better be damn careful, right? So if we go and look at how the country funds acted when that happened. Come on. Oh, I know it always does. Okay, so here we are, and then country funds. There we are. When, can we not go back in time here? Fudgicles. Anyway, I wanted to show you this, but you can see it just barely there, the end of May. See how they were both right up near 100 there? And the worst part about it is, of course, you go back and look, well, what happened at the end of May with the country funds looking all ridiculously overbought there. And you can see, like here, for example, this is India. Look what happened in May, the end of May, boom, there was that dump. The end of May, boom, that dump. So the end of May, boom, that dump, right? And this is the world equity stock indexes. Ugh. So you get a reading from the country funds saying that everything's overbought, then I start to go, oh, Jesus. Get ready, folks. So you can see we started to get up into that sort of nosebleedy territory again, which worries me immensely. And then, as I said there a moment ago, Bitcoin's a leading indicator. So I wonder whether, like all the country funds, this image almost looks like where Bitcoin was last week. So do the country funds and the S&P 500 and all the stock indexes like this, do they not have to go through exactly what Bitcoin just went through? Right? And I'll show you again. Whoops, actually not off of there. Off of here. Right? That's where the S&P is right now. And that's what the S&P, I think, has to go through over the next week or two. So, keep your eyes peeled. I mean, for you guys, all we really care about is crypto, right? It's the only thing that really matters. So I would just simply say, let's, and if anything, it's good. You can see slow is now starting to come out of the overbought zone, so that's good. If we can get a turn back up in our breadth indicator here and cross back above with this sloping down, that'll be considered a weak buy signal. And then, should we get the teal to actually tick back up and we can get across with it ticking up, that's actually a very strong buy signal. So we still got some technical work to do here. That's probably the best way to describe this. And I wouldn't be surprised if, the broader market still needs a couple weeks to sort of, finish its cleanup job. And maybe even through this period, while the S&Ps are sort of cleaning themselves up, maybe crypto and, we were talking about Ethereum does the merger and, maybe there's some other fundamental drivers that are positive. Maybe crypto can actually enjoy a little bit of a rally here. Anyway, we're not there yet. So, keep your fingers crossed. I don't know how long this is going to take to play out. This might bump along here like a few more days, and then it turns up. But I can see if the market does turn up, all the levels are all ready to go. And that's the cool part about this, right? If you trade like levels, like this is what the bots are, they're just level identifiers. I know that if I get bullish resolution in the market off a breadth indicator, whatever, through 23,637, I want to be long, and I'm going to be looking for a stab at 26,700 or 600. So, okay, blah 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 blah. I hope you guys got a little bit of value out of that. That's sort of what I'm seeing, big picture. Belongs are trying to set up, and if anything, we just went through a really nasty momentum cleanup period, starting to point back up. But you can see the battle is on. We actually just got a little signal here saying that the bulls should cool their jets. So it's not like this is a runaway, rip-roaring bull market. Maybe we'll even get another sort of W to come in through here. So you can see we got a huge battle going on. Very much like we had this battle going on here. And this lasted through the whole damn weekend. We didn't know who was going to win. So maybe we have one of those kind of wars going on in Ethereum right now. Okay, so that's sort of my 64,000 foot view of the market. I don't know whether that's of any value or not. I did see while I was blabbing away here, Ben joined us. Hey Ben, how are you this evening? Is he here?
Great, thanks. Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah, thanks for letting me in. Sorry I was late.
That's okay. I probably should keep my greetings relatively quiet. We don't want to wake up the little ones though, right?
It's all good. She's got a sound machine.
All right. Well, great. Awesome job, Dad. So, I think probably, before we jump into Paul and his sort of view on what he sees going forward, we probably just want to do a quick boo at the spreadsheet and remind Ben that he sucks at calling the market just like Paul and I. Just kidding. If anything, Ben was the least suckiest out of our team here. So way to go, Ben. I don't know whether you wanted to be reminded of that, but anyway, before we moved on, I wanted
It's
to
always
just.
a healthy reminder.
There you go. And like I said, hey, you kicked our butts this week, so way to go. And actually, it looks like you were the writer of the three of us the previous week as well, eh? So, geez, you're smarty pants. All right. So, with my rant there, Paul, what do you think? Do you want to dovetail what you're seeing in the market? That would be a really good sort of 1-2 punch for everybody.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So, if you're ready to screen share, we can hop on over to you. And the cool part about it is Paul writes a nice little newsletter. So everything is really well organized and the message is very clear. So I will stop presenting. And as soon as you want to present, here he comes. Boom. Oh, looks good. Then we will move you into the hot seat here. And we will try and maximize the screen. You know, on your browser, if you hit, I think it's F11. I'm not sure. Maybe it's F10. It actually maximizes the browser window for the YouTube video. It's up to you if you want to do it or not. But I will do mine. So let's see. Boom. Nope, it's not that button. Which one is it?
F11.
F11. Yeah. Okay. We do that. There you go. Look at that full screen. Okay, so you've heard from Brian. Now it's Paul's turn. Tell us what's on your mind, sir.
Yeah, on my mind, as usual with my newsletter. I just put some things new in this one. The results for the last week, I do this newsletter on Sunday evening, so I have the results on my Discord group from the last week. So we had 13 trades, 6 wins, 2 losses, and 2 scratches. 54 win rate, 8% profit from depending on your account, but 8%. So in the big picture, you are still in the reload zone and the investment part, weekly chart. We had a W, now it's just the retest of the W. Not too much going on the weekly chart. On the daily chart on Sunday, we are a bit up from after the Fed, but now the things changed a little bit. In 4-hour chart in last newsletter, we are saying the price will go down in the reload zone until the Fed. Then if they do that until the Fed report, they will go up after that. So that was before the Fed, and this is the chart after the Fed. Just a nice bounce exactly. And this is a 4-hour chart. So exactly in the after the Fed, the price just jumped up and made a new high. Sunday, I was anticipating a nice bot on 4-hour chart, but seems like it's not valid now. The price seems like price wants to go to the reload zone, maybe pump chaser zone from the highs. I have the chart right here with 1-hour chart. So price goes to we have a nice channel. Price goes to the pump chaser zone, makes a nice W, 2-to-1 risk to reward, back down, jumps up, breaks this channel. Seems like he hasn't too much power to continue and goes back down to the lower part in the 50% GAN rule. We'll have to wait and see. Let's go back to the newsletter. The Bitcoin dominance, from my point of view, I like the simple way to look at things. It's a damn big range, middle of the channel. Price goes to the middle of the channel, tries to bounce back, the dominance, not the price, and now it's going down. Yeah, it'll be a nice thing this summer to see the dominance at the lower part of the range. It'll be a nice thing. They'll let the altcoins rally a little bit. Ethereum, Bitcoin on weekly chart. When I made this newsletter, price was above this trend line. Let's see now. What do you have? Ethereum, BTC on Binance. Let's put 1 week chart. Let's see. We are in the same spot. We closed above this trend line. We are still above, but for a continuation, we need at least a small W in this area. Keep in mind it's a weekly chart, so maybe if you want to see it better, maybe go on daily chart. Yeah, we are above the middle part of the channel. We can do a W in this area, and the Ethereum to outperform the Bitcoin chart and go to first level of house. This one, we'll see. For now, it's exactly in the same place like Sunday. Total 2, we just bounced from the 50 billion market cap. Let's see now, but keep in mind it's a 1 week chart, so weekly chart, I don't think too much has changed, but let's just see. Total 2. It's spelling. Let's see. Daily, let's go on weekly. Yeah, we are exactly in the same place. Seems like we get some resistance in this area. Like Brian said, with Pelosi and Taiwan and all these news from this week, some hacks. I don't know. Maybe you'll still have to make a bigger W. Maybe you'll go back, retest this area, and then go up. I usually post the most important news events from the week. Altcoins, I had some altcoins Sunday. I was buying last month. If you see, they are nice and profit. City Kappa, we talked about in this show a couple of weeks ago. Brian was filled in reload zone. I keep it simple. I just bought that big W. Alpha looking nice. The same thing. I bought it last month. Cardano, the same thing. My recommendation is don't FOMOing on buying altcoins. Just wait in reload zone. Yeah, maybe pump chaser zone, but for altcoins, I prefer the reload zone and the lower part of reload zone 78.6 to put a buying order in that area. Most of the time you'll be filled in 78.6. Sunday, I found 2 charts that I liked, Mana and 1 inch. They look pretty nice. Now they are in the same place like Sunday, so still in this nice W. I like 1 inch. A lot of smart people, they like 1 inch. Mana is from.
Can we throw those charts in the spreadsheet, Ben? What do you think?
Yeah, but I have to put a link, not a chart image. But
Right.
just a
Yeah.
second. Just 1 second.
That'd be
So
cool.
1 inch. No, no, not this one. 1 inch on crypto. Let's see. I guess this one. 1 day probably.
That
3
looks
days.
nice. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Nice, nice, very nice. 9-to-1 risk reward. There's a badass if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, 9 to 1 to 38.2. Not
Yeah.
to not speak about the short reload zone.
Well, and
So
that's
you,
the
you
irony of this stupid game is that as soon as it jumps up there, that's when the public's going to be like, "Oh yeah, gotta buy it now, gotta buy it now. Use my
yeah.
referral code."
I just bought it on 18 July.
Right on.
Yeah, so I'll just put the
Yeah,
chart
like
in the.
Ben, if we could throw, I don't know whether we have 1 inch in our spreadsheet, but if we could throw that in, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, let's put it on.
Yeah, for sure.
1 inch. Mana, I guess you already have it, but I'll post it if you want.
It can't hurt. I mean, maybe we can just grab the chart and throw it in our little chat room that we have. And then Ben, if he wants to play with them later on, maybe he
I
can
guess
throw it
this is
in there.
a different one from a different perspective, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'd be interested, any of you people over on YouTube, you hear anything about rumblings about Decentraland? Is Paris Hilton starting to get going on promotions and stuff?
From my perspective, no. Even the Zuckerberg is a bit off with Decentraland and his Meta project.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a bit.
yeah.
There's
I
not the
was
right time now for that one.
well, anyway. Also, too, isn't it? It's like Pride Days and all that kind of stuff coming up here soon, isn't it? So we probably see like a pump in mana with around that. If I remember
Probably, yeah.
correctly, in years gone by, they have like a big dance party and stuff in there.
Yeah, but looks nice. On 3 days, we have a nice divergence confirmed.
That's the technician talking. I'm talking about.
No,
What are the people who
I
don't look at charts?
no, I just want my chart. I don't mind the big news, but I like the chart most. The chart tell me most things I want to know.
All right, and like I said, most of the people that associate with Paris Hilton and stuff with regard to this, they wouldn't know what a chart, a bullish chart from a bearish chart if it jumped up and bit them.
Yeah, I know someone who
So-
danced in the Decentraland with her, but he definitely knows how to do TA.
She definitely knows how to use TA. Is that what
No,
you
no, no, no. Someone danced with her in Decentraland from
Yeah.
PRI.
said? I know Shark Toshi. Shark Toshi, he's really big on all that.
Yeah. That's it.
Anyway, so I just look at a chart like that and I wonder, clearly there's some sort of consolidation going on.
Yep.
Somebody has stopped selling. They actually, it looks like the buyers are trying to return here. Kind of like you can see visually the supply and demand battle going on here as we speak. Usually the way these assets move is they rally into fundamental events. So, like, if there's going to be some sort of big promotion within Decentraland, the coin itself will put in a bottom like a month or two ahead of the event. It'll rally so that when they have the big public event, the price has already been bid up, and the guys who bought it at the bottom are actually selling to those people, the public that are buying on the big public event. So when I see a chart like that, the first thing that comes to mind is, all right, this is by the rumor. What's the news? And usually, like I said, with Decentraland, usually it's some sort of big sort of public promotion. They have like before the whole sickness world took over. DJs used to be really, really popular. I don't know whether they're super popular anymore, but
Mm.
like in Decentraland, they'd have like really popular DJs coming along and doing gigs in Decentraland. That was a big promotional thing. So anyway, blah blah blah. Anybody on the YouTube page, if you know what a fundamental driver is on Decentraland, considering that the chart looks the way that it does, maybe we want to pay attention. All right, what are alarm bells going off for you? What's going on? What's going on?
No, I'm just waiting now. I want to see in this area. I want to see a W again.
Yeah.
Uh, I have an M, an ugly one, but it's a M. Now it's just could be a bearish retest from my perspective.
There's a really good example of why I really like to insist that we get W's on the other side of the trend line.
Yeah, this is a trend line.
If anybody just bought that trend line breakout, they're probably not very happy right now.
Yep.
All right, so you like 1 inch and you like mana. Anything else on your shopping list these days?
Maybe for the next show from next week, will have something nice. I have
Okay.
to see if I could get. I'm working with someone at some nice thing, but I have to wait until it's done.
Fair enough. All right, you want to continue on your presentation, or is that it?
Yeah, my presentation it's
Oh
over.
yeah, see, we got to give us the tagline.
Yeah, just trading like a business, and market will treat you like a king. Damn simple.
Good.
Yeah, my trading conditions change from hard to easy.
Oh,
A little bit.
interesting. So you think we're
For
in
my-
the easy
for
mode
my-
now?
Almost, not quite, but it's going to easy mode now.
I would give you a word of caution. A guy who's been through 3 of these cycles. I still think there's one more down move to go.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think this is a bull market. No.
Mm.
I'm just waiting for a bounce to get my free coins, but it's just from my perspective. I'm in crypto from 2018, let's say.
Yeah.
And I see the whole bear market. I was in the market. I just buying when price goes 80% lower. So
Well,
Uh,
that's like a Simon Dixon approach. The only question you have to ask yourself in these altcoins is, if they do a 70-80% correction, do they survive? So
most of them probably, yeah. Some of them no.
Hmm.
But if I put the little old lady approach in the accumulation phase in the bear market, yeah, it's okay. If I get 10 doubles and one coin is going to zero, not big deal. Not.
Yeah.
It's just one coin. Maybe even if I have 5 doubles and 5 coins going to zero, I'm still in profit because the other 5 will go a bit up. So
No,
I'll have to stick to risk management.
always.
Yeah.
Did you talk to the good people about the pi cycle?
Yeah, I removed that now because the signal was given. I don't have anything new with the pi cycle. Pi cycle now has to give me the top signal. So
Okay.
I guess we have some time ahead of us until we'll get a top signal.
Yeah, so that indicator says that you should be accumulating now, eh?
Yeah, from now.
I did hear
until
somebody in the public was saying that they thought the fair value on Bitcoin was $40,000.
Yeah, I heard something like that, but I don't know where. I know on Twitter, but I don't know who
Yeah,
said
so
it.
I'm starting to hear that kind of rumbling again.
Yeah,
So that's kind of interesting. Maybe if we're lucky, we can zip up top there into the fall.
yeah, we could go to 35, just retest of this DCM.
Ah, yeah.
Could be. I have on my, let's see, BTC, if I have the drawings, yeah. Oh, not this one. Let's see, one day. Oh, BTC, USD, probably. Yeah. So maybe in short reload zone 26 to 29, if we manage to get past that, is the house level says 33, 35
Hmm.
from this one and from this one.
What are those chaos
This is
studies?
yeah, this is a W, it's a valid one from daily perspective. And
Yeah.
this one could be considered a W. This is a valid. So first stop is the short reload zone. The 4.6.9 is this area.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can go to 30, 33. Yeah, maybe we'll test this area, 37. I don't know. But I'll be a nice retest on this resistance now. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll go to that area until fall.
All right. Hey, Cole, we should probably have you on a daily brief to do a celestial review, especially with what's coming up here this fall. I see you and Frogsy over there on YouTube chit-chatting away. And Shane, where the heck are you, Shane? We need to get Shane back on the site. Maybe give us an update of what he's seeing with the tide cycles and all that. That'd be kind of cool to do a special on that, eh? Okay, so what do you think, Paul? Have you
Yep.
come to a conclusion in your presentation here tonight?
Yep. We are
Alrighty.
still in the same place like last week. I'm just playing with damn small account on traditional market. I just
Simple FX. Oh goodness.
I'm
This
just
site
hunting
actually right on the
SFU setup.
front, it just says you are not allowed to use this site if you are an American. So be careful
not.
on this site, people. Of course, no mention about Romanians there. So.
No. I'm just hunting SFU setups with this one, just for fun. Yeah,
And what is that?
I put on $100 and just hunting SFU setups.
Oh, good for you. Nice.
Yeah, I doubled the account in 2 weeks. I'm just playing all summer with SFU setups.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
The good part about it is you're self-disciplined enough that as soon as you just sort of identify your reasons to act, I don't have to worry about you making mindless mistakes that end up
No,
blowing
my
up your
stop loss
account.
is right here, well in profit now.
Well, I'd be curious. I don't know whether this site has really run into this over the years, but a lot of these forex sites, they often skip stops. And you load up your account, and you see, oh my goodness, the market went right by my stop, and I'm still in the position.
I didn't happen to win this site with me, never.
Well, that's good. How long have
this-
you been using this site?
Yeah, I used it last year, and now I'm using it again.
About a year or so.
Yeah,
Well, fingers crossed. Hopefully everything goes fine.
yeah, it's just a small account, $100, not a big deal.
Well, that's good. And I was even telling the site members that I liked your little $100 challenge for your guys who just can't paper trade.
Yeah, but the brain learns faster when he has emotions associated with the action. So if you have a position with real money, you'll have some emotion, not too much, but enough to remember things and learn a bit faster. That's why I recommend that.
All right. Okay, where should we go next? It's a little past the top of the hour, so we got about 45 minutes left. Paul's given you a couple pretty good altcoins to take a good look at. And if we're lucky, Ben can add those to the spreadsheet. Do we want to look at a few altcoins while we have some time here, or what do you think we should do? Ben, is there anything you'd like to present to these good people?
Yeah, no, nothing in particular. I think looking at some more altcoins would be great. One thing I would say about Mana, I don't know if you remember that chart I sent you a few months ago, tracking the non-fungible data on sales and the average sales.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
mean like over in Decentraland?
in Decentraland, yeah.
Yeah.
And there seemed to be just a very blatant bottoming signal that comes in. I don't know if you have the chat box open, or if you want me to share my screen, I could just show you quickly
Yeah. Well, why don't we give you
what I
the
mean.
opportunity? Let's all go see what Ben sees in the world. So I will put my chart away. There is Ben. What a handsome guy.
Okay. All right, can you see this one?
Your number of sales times average USD all weekly. Go for it.
Yeah. All right, so there's a concept that we learn in level one called volume speaks volume. And you'll see right before price takes off of like the average cost of a plot of land in Decentraland, the volume just goes crazy at the bottom.
Huh.
So there's the number of sales that
So
spiked.
isn't that kind of blatant like insider
Right,
trading?
right. And so I pulled this up and kind of made this chart. You can go to nonfungible.com and track this kind of data. So yeah, you'll see number of sales, and then the average sale was $175. And then what is it? Less than a month later, your average is up at $25,000. Granted, there's
Wow.
a lot less sales. So yeah, I don't think everybody's going in there and buying them at that price. But again, you see a huge spike in volume right at the bottom, and then the price is at 640, and then your average sales price kind of stays up there. And then again, this was that COVID dump, and people stepped up and just bought a ton of land there. So there's a lot of sales happening when the price was down at 1639. So
Wow.
and then never look back. And then so just waiting for another one of those big red days, I guess, would
And so
be
you're
a
saying
good thing to keep an eye out for
so we
if you
haven't
want to
had we
see.
haven't had the big volume signal yet.
Yeah, right. So not to that extent. So I think that would be a killer signal to keep an eye out for if it's something that you would
Totally.
like to track.
Well, and see,
If
and this
we
doesn't surprise me because this is a unregulated space, and you know, if somebody like Paris Hilton who wants to make her own fortune in the world and not be like, wow, you're just a Hilton and you inherited your money. You know, this is a great way for her to make a fortune, and it can be completely unethical. But because this is an unregulated space, it's like Mr. Dog Money and the way that he manipulated that thing around. So fascinating. So isn't that interesting? So what this study says here, though, is we don't need to get too excited right just yet.
I guess so, yeah. But
I wonder, are those specific dates? Like, because I noticed that looks like it's. Does that say January 2019? Can't really read your screen.
on the first,
Yeah,
so that
right there.
first
So isn't
one,
that interesting? So that's right at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, eh?
yeah.
I remember specifically, right? That's exactly when Bitcoin basically bottomed. The very beginning of 2019 there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and then you said that in the panic dump of
Yeah.
the sickness dump, there was
Well,
also
actually,
another one, right?
this seems to have preceded it. This is March 1st.
Well, that was right around then. Remember, even
Yeah,
today, I
I
was
seem to think it was like mid to late March, but maybe I'm
no,
wrong.
the
Maybe.
COVID dump was like middle of February, and
Right.
then
Okay.
and
Gotcha.
then
Yeah. Okay.
by sort of the beginning of March, that's when shouldn't we debate mortgaging our kids' future? Shut the fuck up, all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that corresponds perfectly with that. So, and it's
Yeah.
just interesting how the first spike. What year is that? Is that January again there?
That was right when Decentraland came out.
But still, is
Um,
that January? Yeah, it is. It's right at the end of the year, right? Huh.
yeah, December. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
seems to me that we probably should be focusing maybe on the beginning of the year when this thing might do one of these things again.
Right.
And I've heard a lot of people sort of say that January, February, March of this coming year should be pretty challenging. So,
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't think this is a trend that's going away. I think Facebook wants to put 1 billion headsets on people, right? Something to
I
that.
don't think, yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I don't think it's going away. You might even find that Zuckerberg gives up and he just comes in and buys this thing out or something. I think there's a few different of these sort of metaverse kind of things floating around there, though, isn't there?
Right. Yeah.
I think they're like the competition is growing. So, and that's the
Yeah.
weird thing, eh? It's gonna be one of these sort of metaverse things. It hits critical mass, and as soon as it hits critical mass, and the public sort of accepts it as the standard, then everything else just fades away.
Right.
So it is interesting how Zuckerberg really isn't talking too much about this stuff publicly, eh? He must be just working just absolutely feverishly behind the scenes to try and get this thing up and running.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I noticed that, I was asking Chris tonight, like, we usually post this on Facebook as well, but the whole Facebook internal stuff is all messed up right now. So I wonder if they're like going through the process of trying to, make some sort of transition into this new world behind the scenes. So fascinating. All right, that's kind of cool. And any new Rule of 72 candidates out there that you got your eyes on?
I mean, I'm watching it play out, and it's pretty fascinating to see how it's, yeah, just being a well-respected level, um, across the board with where a lot of these charts are starting to bottom out. I guess I could pull up a few examples, maybe, or just
Yeah.
put some together for you and
The cool
maybe put
thing
them on
is
there.
there should be a lot of cryptocurrencies that are down in that sort of, are they bottoming at that 72? I can't remember exactly how it goes, or are they going all the way to 88.6, right? 88.6 is the next one. And
Yeah.
usually if it goes to 88.6, then to move back to the 72 is a double into itself, right?
Yep. So it's the 86 up to 72.
Yeah. See, if I was going to build an algorithm, it seems to me that those would be sort of the slam dunk easy trades.
Right.
Because
Right.
anytime a market corrects like more than 85%, there's going to be some sort of balance, eh?
Yeah, I've got an example here I could pull up. If you'd mentioned XLM earlier tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
See how
Stellar
that's
lumens.
working out. Um, now, oh,
And
okay,
actually,
yeah,
can you take a screenshot of that and can we throw that into the spreadsheet? The non
sure,
fungible website?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
great
absolutely,
information.
cool, yeah, can do that. So this is I don't know if you can see this.
Stellar. Yeah, there's
And
86. Yeah.
yeah, kind of playing around with GAN arcs as well, and I
So, are
think
you enjoying the level 2 program?
I am. Yeah, I just love the vibrational free signature of the market and kind of seeing.
Fantastic!
Yeah.
Yay!
So,
Maybe we'll get
yeah.
Paul to take the level 2 one of these days.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That's a great, awesome. I love that, Ben. Great. Thank you. Love to hear that. And what do you think of Kiran? Is Kiran a pretty sharp instructor?
Yeah, they're great. They're really good.
And Marat.
And
Marat loves his GAN, eh? What do you think of
yeah,
Marat and GAN?
yeah, there's a lot to take in. I'm gonna have to go back and watch over that session he did because
Yeah,
yeah,
that could easily be a course. That could be a full course in just the Pandora's box that he just briefly opens up for you. It's sort of
right.
like, whoa, do you really want to go down this rabbit hole?
Hmm. Yeah, and it becomes an art form as well at that point. It's yeah,
Absolutely. So you
yeah.
figured out what the top of Saturn looks like now? It's
Yeah,
freaky.
that's
You
a whole
want to,
nother rabbit hole, right?
if you're watching on YouTube and you really want to be freaked out, just Google what does the top of Saturn look like. And I don't know why the hell it looks like that, but it does.
Hmm.
Anyway.
And what is it? It's a cube as well, and when you look at it
All right,
from
Paul's going to go and have a couple
angle.
smokes. Go up and look in the
Okay.
sky, in the morning sky, see if Saturn's there. And actually, it was interesting. I saw an article, recently that said, but when the dinosaurs were around, Saturn did not have its rings. So I thought that was really interesting.
Hmm. Well, well. Yeah, that was yeah, when you started talking about pyramids and everything,
Well, yeah,
started
then
making my
have
head
you
spin.
started
But
using the square of 9?
yeah, well, I haven't really started using it, but it's
Yeah, I would imagine a guy
it's
like you,
crazy.
the square of 9 and the octagon and stuff like that would actually be quite appealing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and I mean, even love that idea of the number nine that you're using and how like 9 times 2 is 18. And that's like the next.
and then 1
Oh
plus
no,
8 is
then you're
9.
going, yeah, 1 plus 8, and then 81, eight plus one.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
yeah,
and then 2,
this is
7,
wild.
9.
Hmm.
Right? That's
Yeah.
what, 9 times, or 3 times 9, right?
What I want to know is, do you trade a 4.5 minute chart?
The market got so schizophrenic the other day, we were actually drilling down to 15-second charts to try and keep on top of things. It was that
Okay.
jittery the other day. It was like, this is getting ridiculous. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. And I'm loving my Mr. Tesla time frames, right? The 3 minute, 9 minute.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking is that because 9 minutes and then half of nine
It's
is
four
four
and
and
a
a half.
half, eh?
Four plus
And
five is
interesting,
nine.
half of 9 is 4.5. 4 plus
Mm-hmm.
5 is 9. It's
It's nine.
fascinating
And
how it
then
all comes back.
yeah, half of 4.5 is 2.25. 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9.
Next, you're going to have Christine Lagarde on here doing numerology. And then you drop the 0 and add 2 to the 6, and that's how you get 15. That makes sense, doesn't it? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that chick freaks me out. I think she's an alien, I swear. How does she get a job and then just keep her job and not even be worried about the public bitching about how the European bankers are just screwing the population over hard?
Yeah, I think
Oh, well. That's another conversation for another day.
yeah.
Anyway, so
Back
it
to
sounds like
excellent.
you
Back
like your...
to back to stellar lumens.
I beg your pardon?
Speaking of what is the symbol of XLM? It's that the same as the Phoenix coin on the cover of was it that magazine from the 80s talking about the New World Order
Oh,
global
really?
currency, and it was a circle with two slashes through it.
Wow.
Um,
That's
yeah,
mystical. Now you really
yeah.
got
There
me
you
in.
go. everything comes back. So back to stellar lumens and their one world currency.
Oh, you
And their
think you?
bottom,
Well, it's interesting. This is supposed to be the Internet of Things coin, right?
yeah, I think like a settlement kind of international transactions kind of a
Really? I
deal.
got the impression that didn't they go into deal with IBM? And IBM was
Okay,
going
all
to
right.
use their currency as sort of part of their Internet of Things, and so the stuff that the internet was going to be built on, where they were going to use stellar lumens as sort of the bartering vehicle.
Okay. All right, there you go. Yeah, I know they're still active and they're doing stuff behind the scenes and they haven't stopped. But yeah, they're forming a base at that 86%, and
That's cool.
it's outside of all of that negative GAN energy. And
Hmm.
yeah, who
Fascinating.
knows? Could make it to the 72% and
Well, and that's just it,
get
right? Is
full
that's
extension.
not really that big of a stretch. I mean, I would say probably that thing's probably good for a tag of 45 at some point down the road here. That would just be no brainer, 50% retracement kind of thing.
Right.
So, and for there we go, 45. There's 9 again, right? So, but the easiest way for you all looking at Ben's screen here, the easiest way for you to figure out price objectives, I always tell people this, is the very first technical analysis lesson I ever learned. And it just keeps you so honest. And ironically enough, it's all about Mr. Gann. Is you're just going to take that high, which looks to be about 80 cents, and add it to the low here, which looks to be about 10 cents, and then divide by 2. So 80 plus 10 cents is 90. Divided by 2 is 45. And you notice that there's a key pivot high there in what I guess October, November of 2021, right in that sort of 45 area. So once this thing bottoms, it's probably going to rally back up to that 45 area. Then it's going to do a 50% retracement going the other way. So this 10-cent low plus 45 is 55 divided by 2. It's like 27 and a half. And you can see Ben's low from back in like July, August of 2021 is right around that 21, 22 cents. So in a weird sort of way, I think you can actually kind of predict the future here. It's not unrealistic. I think this thing's going to make a big honking inverted head and shoulders here. Maybe you can click on the X and put the advertisement away. I don't know.
Sorry, I took a screenshot of this earlier. Maybe I can pull up the actual chart.
Oh, that's a screenshot. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. But can you see the inverted head and shoulders?
Yep.
So there's a bit of money to be made on this thing, folks. I think there is. Yeah, really would. What I would say if you want to time your purchase is draw sort of like a downtrend line off of that peak. I can see like a little M on your chart. I have no idea what date it is though. Looks like it's probably a few months ago. And when we W out on the other side of trend lines, that's probably when this thing's actually a buy. Which looks like it's trying to do right now. So go figure. Hey, there's the chart in real time. Ooh, sexy.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm so happy that you are enjoying your level 2 program here in your introduction to WD GAN.
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
cool. Oh yeah, look at
Yeah.
that.
Having
There's
a
a
lot of
W.
fun.
Yeah, so if you draw a down trend line off of that peak from April there, and that makes sense, right? The whole market topped out there in April. So, just draw a down trend line off of those peaks. And, do we get a W on the other side of that trend line? You can see one's trying to come in even now as we speak. That's kind of cool. You could do like a Foggenbaum off of that little W, and it should give you levels to sort of shoot for on the way up.
Yeah.
Look at that. Ben's turned into a monster technician. Hey, there you go. Sweet. So, yeah, and that would make sense because it's weird how all this is going to really do is just make fractal after fractal after fractal, eh? So, in this particular case, you see that this most recent 2.618, which is probably the logical stopping point here, all it is it's just going to be a head and shoulders off of that, off of the sort of May-June peak there, right? Can you see the head and shoulders off of that? So probably, yeah, we rally up into that level, then back off. Notice how big that tail is. Ooh, huge. So we could actually have to come all the way right back down. Yeah. Is that the head and shoulders one?
Yeah.
I would do your... Oh, cool. Oh, look at him go. Holy technician. Go, bang, go.
Yeah.
Go, bang,
we
go.
can do
Yeah,
that.
sweet. Nice.
Flip it, but not mirror it. I always get those two mixed up, don't I?
There you
We'll
go.
take that
Oh,
pivot, and
look
look
at
at
that. Beautiful. Oh, that gets a golf clap.
There we go.
Yeah, so, if somebody was saying you want to predict the future, what do you think is going to happen? Well, there you go, folks. So, pretty cool. And actually, oh yeah, look how that takes us up into 4669 there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Now you gotta get. They want you.
Yeah.
They're gonna work you hard. And the interesting thing
I'll
is,
get there.
877 is probably up against those previous peaks. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
So
that
877
underside under here.
is just going
Yeah.
after that wick high and those tail lows. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After a while, you'll get to the point where you'll be like, "Geez, I've seen all this before." All right, that's kind of cool. So maybe, if anything, grab that chart and throw that into our spreadsheet and
Cool.
smoke it. What? No.
Sounds good. And I'll hand the floor back over to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, sure, I guess.
Yeah, unless there was more you wanted to.
Well, I mean, really, do you have any other ideas you want to share with the community? It's up to you.
I mean, being on that XLM, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Let me pull up.
And do you like the fundamental story of lumens?
I like that they're still around and they've been doing a lot.
Yeah.
And they're building more relationships and they're still, they're still going. And a lot of the fluff has been taken out, especially since they peaked back in May last year.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have a bit of a thesis that maybe those ones that peaked in May and didn't really get that rally into December might have a little bit more of a chance to excel this.
Well, I think that rally last fall was all about DeFi, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think these guys are in the DeFi space at all.
Mm-hmm.
There was a DeFi name. What the hell was the name of it? Some guy actually went and got a really big tattoo on his arm. I don't know whether you ever heard it. It was quite a splash last year. I don't know whether that sounds at all familiar to you or not.
No, it's not ringing any bells.
And interesting. Do you follow Danny and Magic Internet Money and all that story at all?
Not a huge amount. No, only enough to know.
Remember, I used to always ask Nick. So is that guy out of the penalty box yet?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think he's out of the penalty box yet?
I think he's coming back this summer for. I don't know. He might show his face. But we'll see.
Maybe we won't use the word fucking so much in his next public stance. Mind you, he didn't get nearly as beat up as the other guy, right?
Right.
The Korean guy. Wow. I'm actually surprised that guy isn't like in hiding, right? Who have death threats and stuff. I don't know. In fact, actually, one of the derivatives, I think MIR, it started to perk up on Binance, and I asked George, so is this thing still alive? And he's like, no, leave that thing alone.
Oh, wow, okay.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Brian, I mean, I'm like, honestly, I look at this XLM chart, and I'm like, that's a W. I think I got to go have some of that on the books. So, nice pick there, sir.
Yeah,
I don't see any reason why you can't get a double on this. It seems perfectly logical. Anyway.
Statistically, the odds are probably more in your favor. But
If you're patient, absolutely. Now, could this thing just go sideways for the next 6-8 months? Yeah, that could happen too.
yeah,
But on balance, yeah, like we could go through one of those sort of saucery bottoming kind of phases there.
Mhm.
And if that's the case, this is why a lot of people love those little old lady approach where you don't really have to overly think this stuff. You want to take that approach? Then coming in and buying a lot of these sort of, like you said, if anything, that's not a bad sort of filtering criteria. What were the names that had legacies that didn't get wrapped up in the DeFi craziness from last year? And, like I'd be curious, did you ever follow the Dash story?
yep,
So that's kind of a name nobody really talks about too much. But I think it's still around. It reminds me a lot of XLM. Right? It's not the same story. They're different. But they came from the same generation of crypto, eh?
yeah, and I guess I've kind of not really tracked that story so much because being, I guess, part of the world, the American world that I'm a part of, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a possible
Yeah, you're not allowed
solution.
to,
But
eh?
there are countries where they are really, it has utilization and people are hopeful about it. And
How about
I would be interested to hear their perspective.
how about Monero? Isn't that another one? That was another one that was in that sort of group too, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got some Monero sitting on an exchange and I can't trade it. Yeah, so it's kind of just sitting there.
Well, Trex just went and just shit on all the Canadians. So, man, that was remarkable to watch that happen. I couldn't believe it. And they're still fucking marketing. That's what kills you. They literally steal all your coins and all that kind of stuff, tell you to fuck off. And they're still, like, you would think they would do you the courtesy of not continuing to shill. But I'm still getting BitterX emails. It's like, you can't log on to the site from Canada, but they're still going to tell you about how wonderful they are. Oh, give me a break.
It'd be a good time for me to go in and start picking up some of those BitTrex
Well, that's
names.
just it, right? There's a bunch of names there. I mean, the problem is do you trust those guys? I mean, like that Ubic, for example. I kind of like the whole Ubic story, but the only place they ever were listed was on Trex. So it sort of became like, that's a name where probably you U.S. customers, you might be able to get some of that stuff on the cheap. I haven't even looked at the price recently. Anyway, did you ever get to know, did you ever watch that Block Talk with Alex Sturck? He had I don't know whether he still does shows or not.
No, I've heard you make mention of him before, but I wasn't around TRI at the time when you were doing those.
Yeah.
Those
So, if you've ever been to my Twitter page, what was so funny was Alex was the guy who interviewed these a lot of these sort of suspect cryptocurrency players, and one of the names, I don't know whether you can see. I guess I don't. You're showing on the.
Do you want me to stop sharing?
Well, I suppose I can hop into charts here,
Yeah.
but there I'm showing him on the YouTube page, but here so you can see it in the Hangout here with me. He was the guy who interviewed this clown from Cabbage Coin. Did you ever watch this interview? This was hilarious. I mean, it was so
No.
blatantly criminal. It was ridiculous. Anyway, and the guy eventually actually did go to jail. Eventually. Such a scammer. Anyway, so that's the way that I remember Alex. And actually, this is probably my favorite memory. If somebody was going to ask me, what is one image that summarizes your crypto experience, it's that image right there. Which is kind of sad, but anyway, crypto is crypto. So. All right, so great conversation with you today, Ben. Love chatting with you guys. I suppose, we could look at the spreadsheet, or we could just take requests from the viewers. So what do you think we want to do? You viewers, if there's somebody, of course, Cole, we hear from you every day. So Adam, same too. So, but some of the people that are on YouTube, if you aren't part of the site, or you would like us to take a look at something, feel free to ask. I'd be more than happy to give you our 2 cents. And then the spreadsheet itself, do we want to take a look at that? Should we try and take a stab at some of these names? What do you think?
Spreadsheet from
Oh, isn't that
Sonori.
interesting? We're on Cripple.
Hey.
So I could just jump right into here. I think this is the one that we were kind of joking about earlier that no longer exists. But I suppose we can take a look at Cripple. Actually, Cripple was one of these sort of original generation ones. It was around when I first came into crypto back in 2013, 14. So still around. Getting the impression that Tether's now on Binance. This is almost like industry standard, which I do find rather amusing. But anyway. Geez, that image looks kind of familiar, eh? We're seeing that a lot. So, I suppose the easiest way I would look at this is if there is a W. It looks like this low here is 28.72. This low here is 32 there, 30.2 cents. So that is technically a W there. So that does start painting these chaos levels as objectives heading up top. Probably also say too, we could do a very simple fib study heading back up top. So I like to go, where are we here? Boom. So there's a bunch of numbers. This is kind of like what you were talking about, where it just even moves back to like simple levels like 38.2 retracements. They can produce this. That would be almost a triple. Oh my goodness. So have we done more than 72% correction here? I do believe so. So if we go off of that original bottom there. Yeah, there's 88.6. They got that, and actually I've been joking recently that I kind of like the idea for venture capital, like stocks and, lack of a better term, shit coins. That, for sort of the higher ups, more senior names, I'd be thinking, reload zone, especially if it was commodities trading, 61.8. It's interesting how Paul loves his 61.8, eh? So, but I have been finding, and I don't know whether it's just poop coins, but I'm wondering whether I want to change my reload zone for the altcoin market to something like 70.2 to 88.6. Maybe even just, 78.6 to 88.6. I see this happens a lot, and the problem is, especially when a market goes like this, that's the definition of the market going parabolic, as they say, and it's just not sustainable. It's just that simple. You can't grow like this naturally, consistently. So usually when you start seeing this kind of price behavior, after the sort of silliness is over, usually these things have to correct almost all the way right back down to the original bottoms. It's kind of a shame, but anyway, it is what it is. I suppose you could argue you want to see what the actual natural growth rate of this asset is. It's right there. There's your natural growth rate. And look at what happened here recently. Isn't that incredible? And then we can get rid of this box so you can see that. I mean, look at that. That's nuts. So it just goes to show the power of trend lines. I'm noticing trend lines sure are getting a lot more respect these days. So anyway, I suppose also too we say that probably don't want to really be too aggressive of a buyer until you start seeing W's on the other sides of these trend lines. I got that one to there, then that one to there, and then I might even do like one to there. And you can just walk it down. I think that looks actually like it's being respected right now. So I don't think this thing's really a quote-unquote buy until we actually start Wing on the other side of this big honkin' trend line. Which is fine. And like we said earlier, I think you could, we could actually say on the anticipation of a rally up into these levels, probably a tag of 4669, 2.618, that kind of thing. Maybe what it is it's a trade off of this range. So can I have a W on the other side of this trend line? So there's the breakout. Down, up, down. Oh, hello. I think this actually is your W over here because notice this low is actually lower than that low. So really the W on the other side of the trend line is actually off of that level. So there, breakout. Which, believe it or not, to me actually says that I probably should be using that as foggy boggy levels. And I actually like that because notice 4669 is that trend line. And then let's do some fibs going from here back up. And lo and behold, now this is a great concept. And this is, keep in mind that there's like no written in stone, this is the way that you do technical analysis. This is the way that you trade. This is the only way. All other ways are wrong. Trading doesn't work that way. In fact, what I often teach people is there will be in the marketplace some participants who say this data is the only data that's relevant. And then there are other, you've heard Paul even tonight say, I couldn't give a shit about the fundamental story. All I care about is the price chart. And I said, I don't think Paris Hilton likes looking at price charts. I think it probably makes her head hurt. So it just goes to show there's a million different ways to skin this cat. So what I suggest you do, if you are a technician, is try and find confluence. Ideally, we really don't want to take a trade until we see 3 completely unrelated reasons to justify us acting. So, in this particular case, it might be something along the lines that, and actually you can even see it here, we could use the volume itself as a indicator. And in this particular case, you could say, well, the market has fallen an awful long way. In actual fact, based on the previous range, we are in acceptable trade location. Good old man Beamish would say, as long as you are at or below reload zones, I'm perfectly fine with you doing things like nanny nibbles. This is acceptable trade location. As we had said there a moment ago, you want to fine tune that and say, well, when it comes to shitcoins, I'm going to stick to, say, the midpoint of the reload zone down to 88.6, and this is my shitcoin reload zone. That's fine. All I care is that you just come up with a set of rules that you've done your back testing, you've done your vetting, so you know that, when 2/3 of the time this happens, a favorable outcome happens. That's the only thing that I really care about. What we call edge. But the point here is that this is half decent trade location. Then we look at things like, and in this particular case, we'll just use raw volume. And what we're looking for is divergence. And here you can see that clearly this is a market that's making lower highs and lower lows. This is a bear market, lots of M's. Down, we are heading down. It's a bear market. But hopefully what you notice is that as the market was heading lower, you can see that the enthusiasm to be bearish was rising, rising, rising. So the bear was in full control here. But notice we made a lower low in price here. But here we did not make a higher bearish volume reading, i.e. something's disconnected here. We had lots of bearish enthusiasm. Sell, sell, more selling, it's a bear. Then we went to new lows and not so much selling. Hey, where did all the bears go? If this thing's so terrible, why aren't they selling more and selling more and selling more? No, in fact, this is what we call divergence. Something's disconnected here. So, that's just one edge. But the point here is, hopefully you can see, trade location, i.e. fibs, all this is just a statistical study of price. This is a measurement of the actual selling pressure in the marketplace. This is saying, hey, we're again coming into a buying window. And this is saying that the sellers are running out of steam. So, put it all together, these are two unrelated reasons to justify acting. And then, of course, you've heard Brian go on forever over the years that something like a W in price is actually nothing more than a previous downtrend that started off as an M, basically coming to fruition. And, here, supply overwhelmed demand. Supply overwhelmed demand. Demand gets busted out. And then again, supply overwhelms demand. But notice here, supply tried to overwhelm demand, but demand said, screw you, we want to go up. We're making a higher low here. So demand overwhelms supply here. This is a change in the supply and demand dynamic, as they say. So again, not related to a statistical study of price, not related to actual what I like to call the volume impetus or the pressure in the market based on the amount of issue trading. This is all about just price action alone. And, what you would like to ideally see on this shift is now actually you get more buyers stepping up. That's the green bars, and it kind of looks like that's happening. Your peak there was 404. Notice this peak, 388. Uh-oh. So that's actually creating a bearish divergence. Notice price went up, volume did not. So a little bit concerning there. So a little bit concerning. But at the same time, too, thankfully, you notice that the bears are very, very quiet. The bears have basically fallen asleep. Now, if the bulls do not show up and we do not have higher green bars here, like this one, if we can't get more and more buyers coming in, then this rally will just fizzle out. It'll just stop. Maybe just do something like that. Ideally, and if anything, this is a really good, if you want to sort of like a lesson piece, what do markets in transition look like? This volume pattern is actually very typical of the end of a bear market, but we just have not seen the beginnings of the bull, i.e. we got to see big green buying bars come in here to actually validate that, yes, this is a bull and the bulls are actually buying. Anyway, so the point being, we got trade location as an unrelated reason to consider taking a trade. We've got the smatterings of volume impetus. I'm not going to say this is a great signal. We'll give this a half a check. Give me the green bars perking up here, and then I'll give it the full check. But right now we got a half a check. And then interesting, we actually have W's on other sides of trend lines. what I think is probably going to happen here is we have a question in the marketplace, and you can kind of see it, and it actually lines up nicely with what I see here. At any given point in time, the fib study is really handy to try and help you understand whether the bear is still in control or whether the bull's in control. And the way that we do this is we just simply ask, what's a 38.2 retracement? Because this at any given point in time is where markets sort of naturally just want to dead cat bounce. It's not really necessarily like this is a new bull market. It's just this was one directional, and just the laws of physics. If you bounce a ball, at some point it is going to have some sort of bounce. And the question ultimately is, how does the market sort of resolve this oversoldness? And then we ultimately ask, can the market actually put in bullish structure? Remember that conversation about a supply and demand, and actually break back above that 38.2, and basically implying that we were a bear and now we've transitioned into a bull. So at any given point in time, and actually I had a long conversation with the TRI site members today about this very same thing going on in the S&P 500 off of like a monthly chart right now. It's exactly the same conversation, just in reverse. So what I would say here is, we don't really have anecdotal evidence off the higher time frame that the bull is really in control. I think it's just really a question of the bear is just sort of taking a bit of a pause. Does it still want to be a bear, or is it done? Can we see the bull actually come alive and take over here? That would be great. But I think probably what has to happen first is we have to rally up, tag this trend line, probably hit Feigenbaum's. And fascinatingly enough, you'll notice that there's horizontal structure that also aligns with that level. There's a lot of people that bought up in here, and they were supposed to have their stop loss right at this level, right there. The market dumped through that level, and they didn't do anything. So for certain that if we can get any kind of bounce back into that dotted line, they're going to be like, oh, phew, I can finally get out where I was supposed to sell and just walk away. And then, interestingly enough, so we have the trend line, we have the horizontal support and resistance, we have the 38.2, and we have Feigenbaum's. I'd say there's probably a pretty damn good chance we're going to rally up into this window. And then, interestingly enough, we have a site member, Colin, who is an alumni of the program. He likes this level so much. I think he's over now on the Hero Exchange, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got that right. I always get that wrong. HXRO, I think it's Hero. Anyway, he does a lot of sort of social media stuff, and I think he did very, very well on the Magic Internet Money stuff, so congratulations, Colin, on that. But one key thing that he took away from the education program, and he actually changed it to this name, and I love that because, frankly speaking, I love to make you guys famous. So we call this Collins. In this case, we're going to call it the dump chaser zone. In that, if somebody was thinking that this was a bear, and they wanted to get in on the bear trade, they're going to wait for the market to bounce back to that 38.2, maybe as high as 50% level. But in essence, that is where they're going to join the short trade. So put it all together, that is a very good example of confluence. I think you got a lot of reasons to look for this asset to move up into this area. And then we'll actually find out whether this is actually a bull. If the bulls just come alive and you guys are just buying this thing like crazy, like it's the next best thing since sliced bread, well, then we got ourselves a bull market. And probably what's going to happen here, I mean, I'm just, trying to predict the future, who knows. But probably what's going to happen here is we bump up to here. Now, let's see if Ben's been paying attention. If we bumped up to this trend line and into this dump chaser zone and into these Feigenbaum levels, is that a buy right there?
No.
I heard that very quietly. I think I heard a no. No, I wouldn't consider that a buy. What's our rule? LJs, all that. Kind of like here. Was that a good buy? At some point, this thing was on the other side of that trend line. Uh-oh. Nope. So what I would say is what we really want to see is a nice... In fact, you might even get a situation where price like literally breaks the trend line and then walks itself down the other side of the trend line. And as soon as you get that W, away we go. I mean, does it take that long to play out? It could. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. In fact, according to my sort of crazy thesis, is actually this should happen right about here. So something like that. So maybe what we do is we go up, play up in there, blah, 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 like that, and then work our way down. I really like the idea of crypto market bottoming sort of the beginning of next year. So we'll see how it goes. So, there's a lot, this is that end of summer rally window. And in this particular case, I think this isn't unrealistic. But once we do get up into this area on the XLM chart, or XRP, cripple, I'd be very, very leery. Now, the good part about this, like Paul was saying earlier, you should be able to get doubles off here, right? That's 30 some odd cents, and that's 50, 60 cents. So probably don't chase. See if you can work bids. What I would say is, if you're really interested in this, I mean, traders got to trade. Ironically enough, the trades themselves actually look almost identical from one trade to the next. But there is our current range. So, no reason why we can't throw reload zone studies on here and start working some bids. So, we could go from here all the way down there. And notice, isn't that interesting? There's good old Brian's reload zone. And actually, we call this the shark setup in our library on the site. But in essence, I loved, especially when I played the crypto market years ago, I would work my orders against these tails right off that 78.6. Sometimes I got absolute gift trades where market just goes zing, zing. And it's just like, wow, that's a gift. In fact, I did one of those in the stock market recently. I bought coin. I don't know whether you guys ever heard of that thing before. There. And that's basically the same logic. So there is the bottom, right? And, even if you go off of this range, there to there, there is 78.6 right there off of that candle body low. I didn't go that low. I went off of, I think, this one. Here to here. Actually, I paid up a little bit. No, I guess maybe I did it off of there to there. Anyway, I worked my bid right at this gap. Right there. I suppose I could have worked my bid against there. But anyway, I got filled right at $60 right in the gap there. So that's similar kind of trade. And actually, that's working out pretty nicely now. So I could see, and it's crazy because through here you'll be like, oh, there's no way this thing's ever coming back. And sure enough, bang, comes slamming down into reload zones. You get your gift fills, and then the damn thing turns around and just starts screaming higher. This is the hallmark of a trader's life, folks. So that's basically the same image. So I wouldn't chase this. I'd work your bids down at sort of like this 31, 32 area, looking to try and spoon feed up in that 50, 60 area. I think that's logical. I don't see that that's unrealistic. That's probably the way I'd approach this now. The one thing I said I don't like about this is I don't like the fact that they took the market to new highs here. But the buyers didn't show up. That's not a good sign. So if anything, that's a sign that, okay, I haven't missed the bus. If this was a huge breakout volume candle here, I'd almost be thinking that this thing's just going to keep going. So if anything, maybe that's giving you the opportunity to get in at that stink bid level. So if you're going to work some stink bids, that's the level I'd like right there. So anyway. Well, we got to look at one name, and I don't know whether it's of any value, Ben, but I'll sort of... Oh, geez, now what have I done here? Holy moly, what a mess.
Yeah, if you could give a copy of the link, and we can add in the columns for
Sure.
location, indicator confirmation.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? We need to do this then. Yeah. You know, we're seeing a lot of this where, you know, a while ago there was indicator confirmation. Willie was stupid. There was bullish divergence through here. That low is higher than that low there, but that low is lower than... But I don't know whether... I don't think you really have indicator confirmation now. This looks really wishy-washy in here. I like that, you know, I think this is value, definitely. Just the fact that you're, you know, we're talking about 88.6 corrections. Holy crap. So you're definitely down in the value neighborhood. I just don't know if we've run into this conversation a few times recently, haven't we? It's been basically the same conversation. That, yeah, we're down at the bottom, but man, these things just aren't getting going. Which is a little bit concerning. So, how am I going to frame this for you? Oops. Okay, so there are the levels, and I think really what I want, and that's the image. If somebody was going to see something in the public, I like that. So I would say, you know, this is dead cat bounce territory. Well, maybe target. I'll say target zone. And I would say stink bid fill target zone. Something along those lines. And the problem here is we're kind of running out of time on this seasonal window. So if this trade doesn't develop in the next few weeks, I might just leave it alone for this season and just wait for sort of the new year and just see how it plays out. So I'll give you that chart link. Where's our room? I guess we'll put it over here. Boom. So there you go. And thank you, Paul, for putting those other charts that you did in there. Totally awesome. And then what I would just simply say, if you want to just quickly note this down, we'll go location, check, indicator, confirmation. I think I'm going to say getting old, and then market, structure, still valid, but it is getting a bit old. But it is still valid. That W there is still valid. So I don't know whether, does that help at all, Ben? I do that.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, you're awesome. Okay, I did see somebody over there ask. Mr. Nancy's going long something. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say that without getting into trouble. I you know, on the daily. Oh, and by the way, can you please hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell. Actually, we got about a half a dozen people that are over on YouTube watching, so I appreciate that. And we do actually get quite a few views through the week. So if you are watching this through the week and you kind of like the offering, you know, by all means, if you feel like donating to our little Decentraland fund to build the booth in Decentraland. The fundraising campaign's kind of stalled, but man, I'll leave it up to you. If you want to participate, great. If you don't, no biggie. But, you know, hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell, all that kind of stuff. We do a lot of free content, and I get a lot of people that say, holy crap, I actually learned something. This guy didn't try and bilk me out of money. And then, of course, if you want to take your trading to the next level, if you want to learn how to actually build a small business of trading, I think Paul kind of likes our education program to set you up to sort of learn how to be a trader. What do you think, Paul? Is this of any value, this education program that we teach?
100%.
100%. There you go. Merry Christmas.
I recommend all Discord members to go and make the level 1.
There's good old Da Vinci. Da Vinci. What a character, eh? There's our Dutch crew, Sene, and there's Sjord, our CTO. And Mark, I haven't seen him too much. Reza's a character. I don't think Reza did graduate from level 1, though. No offense, Reza. I think he's selling chickpeas in like Eastern Middle East somewhere now, or some crazy story. But we do have quite a few reviews. Yeah, very popular program. And I think what it does is it teaches you how to run a small business of trading. I mean, it really makes a huge difference. So it's all about teaching you the process, which is really difficult for new people to learn. So feel free to join our school program if you want to actually learn how to run a small business of trading. And then, of course, you know, we have, as I showed you earlier, TRI, we've been working like dogs for the past few years to get this this engine up and running. But it's actually running very efficiently right now. Gave us a fantastic warning signal about crypto a couple weeks ago, which I thought was spot on. Now, interesting enough, crypto doesn't look so dangerous anymore. So that's good to see. And of course, our sort of, this is the graphical, the visual representation of the histogram. And you can see things like stock market looks pretty dangerous. I still think that the stock market's like a week or two behind crypto. So you've seen what crypto's done over the past week or so. I wouldn't be surprised if the stock market does similar. And you can see crypto's in the process of cleaning itself up. So this is good to see. You know, because this is when Brian starts to crap his pants and get really worried that people are coming in and FOMOing and technical analysis doesn't matter, right? And they end up getting destroyed. The fact that the market is cleaning itself up technically, and of course we looked at the various different names, they look like they're all slowly cleaning themselves up. Well, I think that's a good sign. So, you know, we actually do a free 30-day trial. So you want to come in and hang out with us. We, of course, have 2 to 3 hour videos Monday to Friday. Tomorrow you get a big old whack of Julian, another one of TRI's principles, in the baby powder report. And, of course, I'll be back on Friday with, there's Julian's baby powder report. So he's up on Thursdays. And as I said, our CTO, he comes on the call on Tuesdays and talks to the community. So, very robust website. Really, really cool platform that we've built here over the past 5-10 years. It's working really, really nicely. Very proud of the team. Also, too, I would suggest, you know, if you're just watching this video day to day and trying to sort of figure out what the heck we are, our official social media feed is TRI_PMA on Twitter. And the gentleman who actually runs this sort of public face marketing campaign for TRI is just next level. I mean, it's so beautiful to watch Josh in action. And the cool part about it is while he's doing all of this, he's actually running a model to actually trade the breadth indicator. And he's just killing the market. It's beautiful to watch him in action. I think the latest, latest report just here, breadth plus 32, hodl 0. Lots of this kind of stuff, and this just over like the past month or two. Year to date, I think he's up like triple digits on the account that he's trading, and I think like the buy and hold is like down 50%. So Do yourself a favor if you just want to sort of get to know TRI and what it is that we do and a little bit about sort of like the politically correct marketing message. Do yourself a favor and follow the TRI PMA feed as well. It's great stuff. Great stuff. And of course, like I said, hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell, all that kind of stuff, because the actual page itself, the channel, there's some people that all they do is they just watch the free videos that we put out, and they've taught themselves how to become really good traders. Just watching these, we put out tons and tons of videos. So you can see even these shows get a good 500, 600, 700 hits weekly. So, lots of stuff for you to do, following, liking, subscribing. And then, of course, like we said earlier, if you like Paul's approach to the market, he has his own Discord group. Ben, have you've got a folk music Discord group going, don't you? Well,
No.
what was the music? What's the musical genre that you do? It's so cool.
I used to be in a couple of bands. And
Right
that's,
on.
that's the social media accounts I have
Yeah.
out there, but they're pretty inactive these days.
Okay. Well, we won't harass him.
With
If
a
you ever
2-year-old.
want to do a cryptocurrency channel or whatever, you know my job. It's to make you famous.
All right. Well, once I get through that level 3,
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. Good. And we'll get Ben. Actually, maybe that's your fate, is that you're supposed to become the options deribit expert around TRI. That would be cool.
yeah, I might get the bug. Let's
Okay.
see.
So, I guess the only thing left for us to do here tonight, we only looked at one name. I suppose I could go on, but it's already 20 after 8. We probably, worn out our welcome enough. I don't even know if Paul's even with us anymore. But, only thing...
I'm here.
Hey, there he is. All right. Now it's the middle of the day. It's lunchtime for him now.
6 a.m.
All right. So, the only thing left for us to do here tonight, I suppose, is make our grand predictions. So, what the hell's going to happen this coming week, boys? And Ben, since you're just on fire lately, maybe you go first. What's the grand prediction?
I'm gonna put a 2.
Wow!
Wow.
All right.
I would love to see it pull back, but I've just got a feeling that it's just gonna melt everyone's faces and just do something
Interesting.
crazy
All
over the next couple of
right.
weeks.
Hot dang! Wow, I like the sound of that. I'm not quite sure why we have 2% there. Anyway, so Ben's going over the top. Did I say Ben's actually been pretty accurate these days? So take that for whatever it's worth. Paul, I can almost guess what you're going to vote, but tell me anyway.
Yeah, just a 2.
You going with the 2 as well, eh?
Yeah.
Jeez. All
I
right.
didn't get it last week. Maybe I'll get it this week.
And he bangs out 20 more doubles along the way. And I
Yeah.
suppose you're wrong in the market, but you still make 8% for the week. That's not so bad. I mean,
No,
8
not.
times 52, that comes out to an annualized rate of return of, what is that, 400%? That's not so bad. So, these guys are going a little over the top bullish. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I have to limit my Discord premium. I have options where they have all the channels, but I have to limit the access there. There are too many people.
it's getting
So,
a little out of control, eh?
no, but I want to help every one of them, but I have to limit for now at least.
All right. I would love to join your guys' uber bullishness. The only problem is, and I had actually, this study right here. So once again, we're kind of going through one of these sine wave cycles. Troughed. And actually incredible how close the trough was to the actual sine wave. If I'm not mistaken, this was the Fed announcement. There's your Fed jump up. Then we petered out. It's interesting how the market actually topped there, but the sine wave actually topped there. So next meeting is the 10th of August. So that's over here. So the question is, do we finish the correction and are we coming out the other side to the point where price is actually higher than where we are right now? And I'm going to vote for... What is that? That's 6th and 7th? Yeah, so the question is next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Did you have any big econs coming on your sheet? I don't know. I don't think I heard you when you were talking about econs. Do we have any big econs coming down the pike next week?
I didn't look yet.
Australia, China, U.S. core inflation and inflation rate. So that's Wednesday. Interesting. So that's basically the day of our meeting. And if this number comes in lower than expectations, you might see the whole damn market just launch higher. So, it is interesting doing these shows on Wednesdays, eh? We seem to catch, like, right in the middle of these pivots.
Yeah.
So, oh, goodness, that's a tough one. I'll go with I'm going to go with a 0. I think we dip more, but then I think we come back, and you see we have these two trend lines confluencing. I think we're just going to be sort of stuck here for a little while. So that's going to be my vote. And hopefully I'm wrong and you guys are right and everybody makes a ton of money. Where are we here? So that is this page. I'll go with the big feds. Okay, so we've done that. Fingers crossed both of you guys are right. Hopefully Brian's not. And everybody makes lots of money this week. Closing thoughts. Closing thoughts from you, Paul?
Yeah, the same like every week. Just manage your risk, trade your setups. Same thing. Now
Alright.
it's time to look at the altcoins, maybe to draw a reload zone and maybe pick up some altcoins for little old lady risk management strategy.
Yeah,
Just
well,
a
I
small
thought
tip.
that was a pretty big message from you to go from not easy mode into easy mode. That's a pretty big message.
Yeah, we are almost in the easy mode. Not quite, but we are pretty close. But for altcoins now, if you draw a reload zone, yeah, maybe it's time to put a small nibble in the altcoin space.
Yeah,
There
that
are
1
some
inch
altcoins,
one.
they look really nice. They have a lot of volume, buying volume. So just put a reload zone, a limit order, and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Paul said that, Ben said that earlier, eh? I think that's probably really important. If you guys are trading this shit, follow the volume, right? You really want to participate in the names that are really ramping up on volume. And the way that you can confirm that the thing is going higher is you just keep seeing bigger and bigger and bigger volume bars. If you don't see that, be careful. Because in this kind of market, somebody sneezes and the damn market can come off in a hurry. So that's a good point that Paul just made there again. Really, and that's what we used to call in the stock market, we'd say follow the chalk marks. Volume speaks volumes. All right, thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Ben, closing thoughts? Of course, I'm feeling some best wishes for Liam and I on our road trip. Usually that's how it goes with you.
Yeah. Yeah, and enjoy the summer. Get out there. Get some vitamin D.
How is it in Florida? Is it like absolutely insanely hot there right now?
Oh yeah. Yeah, the water is like bath water.
Oh, really?
I love it. It's good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I suppose you're from Australia, so it's like that all the time in Australia anyway, right?
Some parts where I'm from, it's actually pretty cold,
Oh.
but in the water. But yeah, it does get hot, but no real humidity.
Yeah, well, and do you have like alligators and stuff that run around your house?
Yeah, there was one spotted in the neighborhood this morning,
Damn.
so that's pretty wild.
Yeah, freaky.
Yeah.
That was, I remember I was looking at a golf course in southern Georgia and people were like, ah, I wonder how many alligators are in those swamps. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Anyway. And actually, maybe, you're up in the Panhandle? Are you up that north?
No, no.
You're pretty
Um,
south?
yeah, well, it's kind of like northeast. Yeah,
Okay.
just above central.
All right, so your closing thoughts of these good people?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
Okay.
give some PMA to Brian.
Thank you.
I don't want to overwhelm you with too many things to do, but that's the number one. And then number two, get some vitamin D.
Ah,
Get out
sweet.
there, get some sunshine.
All right.
Help you think straight and make some good trades.
There you go. Like that. Get a good night's sleep. All that. All right, everybody. Well, appreciate the time. Thank you, co-host. You guys are awesome, as always. Appreciate the input. Great job, Paul. Great analysis. I think people really enjoy your view. And judging by the success of your Discord group, I think this has been a beneficial experience for you. So way to go, dude. Thank you, Ben. Ben, I love Ben's approach, right? Always getting me to look at different things from a slightly different angles. So that's the rule of 72. And now, did we share that website that you had? What was the name of that website again?
The
Did you grab a screenshot of
non-fungible.
that?
I did, yeah. So I'll put that in the center tab of the yeah, the kind of "Are we there yet?" section of the app.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And let's probably it makes a lot of sense if you could actually see like capitulation volume. Thought it was interesting. I showed you that coin earlier, and how ironic that Kathy Woods capitulated and sold. I think something like $20 million worth of stock, literally right at the bottom. So kind of like what Ben was saying with Decentraland, Mana. If you want to look for those huge volume capitulations, those are great events to frame buys.
And anecdotally, like my wife doesn't have a huge interest in this stuff, but she sent me a TikTok of someone telling everybody to get their money off Coinbase,
Get
which
their
to me
money
is like,
off Coinbase.
yeah, which to me was like, okay, maybe I'll take a look at the chart and
It's ironic because the damn stock is just like vaulting higher.
yeah, I mean this was a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Uh,
So that to
gotcha.
me was anecdotally another capitulation point, like, when um
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, all good. PMA for the win. Have yourselves a great week. Well, I look forward to chatting with all you guys next Wednesday. Talk a little more crypto. Thank you very much for the best wishes for Liam. It really does make a difference. So thank you, everybody. If you're interested in learning about running a small business of trading, feel free to pop on the site. And you want to join a community of traders that aren't really out to shill you anything in particular. We know our products work on the site, so there isn't really a really hard sell. And we all like to trade. So that's the reason why we all come back to TRI day in, day out, is because we like doing this, not because it's some sort of job. So, slow and steady wins the race. Don't take no wooden nickels. You know how all the cliches go. All the best. And the only thing left for me to say here tonight, you good people, is hit the like button, subscribe, ring Colleen's bell. Oh, sorry. Bye for now.